you guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, and honestly, there's been a lot going on. I'm going to get into that in another video because that's going to be a video all by itself. But this video here is talking about how the Department of Energy wants to roll back protections for people with disabilities by doing what's called a direct final rule. Now, a direct final rule is usually something that's done when it's not controversial, right? It's just something that is just passed through. But they're being sneaky about this one because this is very controversial. This is extremely controversial, and they're trying to put it under the radar so they can roll back protections. I don't know anybody who would want to roll back protections for people with disabilities unless they're sick in the head and they got some Nazi tendencies going on and they just want disabled people wiped off the face of the earth. Believe it or not, there are still people like this who exist. They think like that. I'm not kidding you. I've encountered some. And I'm sure that there are many others who are watching my videos who probably have too. But what is this final rule about? This is about wanting to roll back protections that make buildings in the federal government accessible. They want to do away with that. What's going to happen if they do away with that? Well, elevators aren't going to have braille buttons. Elevators aren't going to talk. There's not going to be wheelchair ramps at any future buildings. If this direct final rule passes, any future buildings is not going to be accessible. They don't have to care. And that's a huge problem because that essentially shuts disabled people out of society. You see this house in the background? It's my house. I own this house, right? Okay, why do I own my house? Because I work. How do I work? Because I have the privilege, and it's by right, really. It's not even a privilege. I have my rights to access accessible technology. My platforms are accessible. My technology is accessible. Therefore, I can do a job. I don't have to have a handout. I don't have to live off of anybody. I don't have to have someone taking care of me. And I don't want that anyway. I want to work for what I have. But if we take away protections, it's going to essentially force disabled people out of society. People aren't going to be able to work. People aren't going to be able to live. And there's so much complaint about how the systems are stretched, how the systems are so stretched. But if you put disabled people out of work, and you essentially bar them from participating in society, it's going to be even worse. It's going to collapse because there are disabled people out here who are making a wage, owning homes, taking care of families, and all of this. I'm not the exception. There's many of us who are doing it. So this is how we're going to put it in place to protect our rights, not privileges, rights to accessibility, right? So I'm going to include in the description of this video 2 links to the documents. We have until June 16th to comment. If we don't overwhelmingly overwhelm these forms with public comments, this final rule goes into effect. That means anything after July doesn't have to be accessible. That is not acceptable in this day and age. There is overwhelming proof that disabled people, when given the proper tools and supports, can be functional, productive members of society as anybody else and be on the same playing field. And the fact that anybody wants to take this away, it makes me so angry. I am so mad. So let's stop it, guys. Overwhelm the public comments. Send it to your family. Send it to your friends, allies, whoever. Overwhelm them. Show them that this is disgusting. We don't support it. Thank you so much.